Mandibulise umongameli, Chief Whip, CCT members, and the ground forces of the emancipation movement for the economic freedom in our lifetime. Chairperson, there is no greater tragedy in this country than the complete disregard for the well-being of safety and advancement of women demonstrated by this administration of Mr. Ramaphosa. House Chair, in 2012-2013 financial year, which was midway through the Zuma administration, there were 60,888 reported sexual offenses in this country. Over the following years, the number was reduced to over 49,000. But by the end of 2016-17 financial year, all those numbers changed. They became worse when Mr. Ramaphosa took over in 2018. By 2021-2022 financial year, there were over 53,000 reported cases of sexual assault in this country. In terms of governance and in terms of prioritization of violent crimes against women, there is something that this current administration is getting so horribly wrong. House Chair, just between April and June 2022, there were 11,855 cases of reported sexual assaults in this country, and there were 9,516 cases of reported rapes. In the same period, of 800 women were murdered. 1,200 survived the attempted murder attacks. 1,100 were assaulted with grievously bodily harm. Was there anyone arrested? Zero. Replying to our question last year, Minister Tsayele indicated that the police investigation into the much publicized brutal murder of Namhla Mthwa in Umtata, Eastern Cape had reached a dead end. And there was nothing more the police could do to trace and arrest those who ordered the murder of this young woman. This is despite actual evidence of long periods of violence, of abuse that she endured in the hands of her erstwhile boyfriend, Major Begizu. Nothing happened to him. Namhla's case is not an isolated case. It is one of thousands of cases of brutal murder, rape, assault, and exploitation of women that were swept under the carpet by this current administration. As we have seen now, ilusikisiki Eastern Cape is #1 with rape crimes. But unfortunately, Chief Whip of the ANC, even the strategy you just employed today of deploying 8 of the ANC speakers from the Eastern Cape in your 15, it did not help. They did not provide any tangible solution. This is so because some of the biggest enablers and perpetrators of these crimes sit here with us. Some occupy senior positions in government and use the control they have over the state's resources to escape accountability. We have just seen how Mr. Begitsaile is standing up here and unashamedly weaponizing GBV to score only cheap politics. Tomorrow is going to be one of us. The violence against women has taken a toll. Now it's in the boardrooms. Women are subjected to sleep with me, you will get a job. Sleep with me, you will be admitted to the university. Nothing happens to such perverts. The continued marginalization of women in almost all sectors of the economy is a manifestation of non-physical form of violence against women. House Chair, various studies over the past 2 decades have indicated that women-headed households are more likely to be poor in relation to male-headed households. This is because, in general, women are paid far less than their counterparts. As recent as 2020, Stats SA Inequality Trends reported and indicated that women earned on average 30% less than men doing the same job. The Gender Pay Group report of the National Business Initiative released in 2021 also confirmed the same. We all know that this is true, but is there something that's going to happen? Zero. The EFF has consistently advanced the cause of women emancipation since our formation. Mr. Ramaphosa stood here and said absolutely nothing against fighting GBV. What hope when his party has destroyed the future of our children, particularly girl children, who now know they can't walk the streets of South Africa without being in fear? What must happen? We urgently need a Parliament Joint Committee on GBVF to provide parliamentary oversight over the problem of GBVF. Because if the police do not account to a body, nothing is ever going to happen to the women who die. They will never, ever get justice. But that will be very difficult. And the nice thing is that I'm now presided over by the House Chair who's responsible for committees. The problem we have here, we have a bloodthirsty speaker who unleashed special security forces to beat up women. I'm evidence of that today standing here. That is why we call for the removal of the Speaker of this House.
Honourable Member, will you just take your seat, please? Honourable Mente, will you take your seat, please? Yes, Honourable Member, why are you rising? I can't hear the Honourable Member if you interject.
Chairperson, I'm rising on a point of order that there's a member on the podium has used an unparliamentary language, that the speaker is bloodthirsty.
Okay. Order, Honourable Members. Order. Honourable Members, I will check the Hansard recording. The table staff will assist me. And if necessary, I will make a ruling in that regard. Please continue, Honourable Member.
Thank you, House Chair. Children are kidnapped on a daily basis and they never come back home alive. There is no solution from Minister of the Police. We need a competent Minister of Police and a competent National Commissioner to take over. The crime in this country has escalated to the levels that are uncontrollable. We need a specialized and empowered unit in each and every police station to focus on sexual crimes and GBV. We need to get rid of the NDPP, who is not doing anything to prosecute our perpetrators. The bottom line, however, is that, Mr. Ramaphosa, if you have failed these women of this country, but it was worse, you failed your own domestic worker, who was assaulted by the men you sent to go and investigate the crime of Palapal. You failed to intervene when the xenophobic MEC of Health in Limpopo humiliated a sick woman whose only sin was because she was a Zimbabwean. But you come here and talk Africa intra-trade. It's going to happen where? When we don't allow our sisters to come and get the services in this South Africa. But mandini cebise apha abafazi abaphansi komasipala waseJohannesburg phansi ko-MEC o-capable Dr. Mgcinichwako asoze baphinde baquthelwa ama-apile wabo neswitshi zabo abazithengisa ecaleni kwestrato ngenxa yobana akukho nto yenziwayo ngugovernment, kuhlukunyezwa sebehlukumezekile. Bafazi nabantwana baseJohannesburg, jongani kwi-EFF, asoze niphinde ningathengisi nibeke isonke etafuleni for abantwana benu. Minister of Small Business, you try to shine, but kubi abafazi ndithwe Eastern Cape apho usuka khona akhona endawo eyodwa kwezi dolophu zincinci ene-shelter yothengisela okwe-apile. Bakwazi ubeka isonke etafuleni, abakwazi ubeka isaluni, abakwazi ubeka i-barber shop, abakwazi ukwenza i-car wash. Ukhona Minister of Small Business, kawenza icebo, noko makubonakala ubukhona. Nge-20 ka-March, everyone in South Africa were shutting down the country, not only for electricity, for all the crimes that have been perpetuated against innocent girls and children. Amandla!